What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's feeling good. Hope everybody's doing well. Guys, we are back with an update. Oh, man, I really did like this story. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this story is about a guy. He didn't say I couldn't say his name. So, his name is Vince. Um, he caught his woman cheating. He got rid of her quickly. He was done. He moved on with his life. But one thing I love about his story is that how he's transitioning and he's trying to better himself. He's bettering himself with his faith. He's bettering himself. He's moving off grid, and he's talking about that in this update. But it's just a good story. I like it when you guys add where you are, what you're doing, lessons you learned. Yeah, the stories could be entertaining and they're funny when that cheater gets karma and things like that. I love that. Don't get me wrong, but I also want to hear how you guys are doing, how you're moving on, and how you're bettering yourself in things that you learned. So, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna play it first so you guys can check it out. But if you know exactly what I'm talking about, go down to the description and click the update, and it'll take you straight to what I'm about to put out right now. Let's get into it. What a piece of crap, man. Oh, you broke up with her. She did everything in her power to get you back, only to betray you. Subject: how a stranger, a prayer, and your channel helped me move on from my cheating wife. Hey, man. First off, thank you for what you do. I found your channel randomly one night after having a conversation that I'll never forget. Let me take you back a bit. My name is Vince, and not too long ago, I was just trying to get through another day. Life felt like it was crashing down on me, and I didn't have a clue how to deal with all the emotions boiling up inside of me. I was bitter, angry, confused, hurt, you name it. I didn't even like talking about what I went through, but for some reason on this particular day, I was sitting at a little cafe and I ended up talking to a complete stranger. His name was Roger. I don't know why I opened up to him. Maybe it was the way he looked at me like he actually gave a damn, or maybe I was just so full I needed to let it out before I exploded. Either way, I told Roger everything. He didn't interrupt me once. He listened, really listened. And when I was done, he just nodded, reached across the table and said, "Let's pray." Now, I'm not the most religious guy, but something about his energy made me go along with it. Man, that prayer changed something in me. It wasn't about forgiving Bonnie, my ex-wife. It was about forgiving myself for trusting the wrong person, for missing the signs, for sticking around longer than I should have. Roger looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Don't hold on to that anger, brother. Betrayal cuts deep, but you're not meant to carry that weight." I don't know what kind of magic was in his words, but I felt lighter. I went home that night, sat on the couch, and started scrolling through YouTube with no real purpose. And that's when your channel popped up. I clicked on one video, then another, then another. I was blown away. Every story felt like a version of my own. Different faces, different names, but the same pain, same betrayal, same path to healing. I subscribed right then and there. It gave me hope knowing that other men had gone through hell and came out stronger. So now it's my turn to share. I met Bonnie at our city's annual fair. It was one of those warm, golden summer nights that makes everything feel like it's out of a movie. She was wearing a yellow sundress, holding a corn dog, and laughing with her friends. I remember thinking, she looks like sunshine. We made eye contact while I was tossing rings at a bottle game, and she smiled. That was it. I walked over and cracked a joke about being terrible at carnival games, and somehow we talked the rest of the night. From funnel cakes to the Ferris wheel, we were inseparable. We dated for 2 solid years. It was the kind of relationship that makes you believe in soulmates. Or at least that's what I thought. Funny thing is, Bonnie always said she didn't believe in marriage. She was real firm about it too. Said she didn't want to be tied down by a contract. I accepted it, even though deep down, I wanted more. I figured love was enough. Then, out of the blue, 2 years in, we had a rough argument. I honestly don't even remember what it was about. Something dumb. I walked out, needed space. She didn't chase after me. I thought that was the end of it. I started moving on. A few weeks later, I went out on a date to the Cheesecake Factory. Nothing serious, just trying to live again. And guess who I see? Bonnie. She's there too, on a date. I almost laughed at how awkward it was. But then she saw me, saw who I was with, and it was like a switch flipped. She came over to my table. Her eyes were already watering. She just stood there and said, "I miss you." I didn't know what to say. Her date ended up leaving her right there. Left her with the bill, too. She looked so pitiful, but I stayed calm. I told her, "I'm sorry, but I've moved on. You should do the same." That hurt her, I could tell. She walked back to her table and just sat there staring at nothing. For 2 weeks straight, she tried to get me back. Gifts, MLB tickets, letters, flowers, you name it. I ignored most of it. But then she showed up at my front door one morning. I opened the door and she dropped to one knee and proposed to me. No ring, just her, crying, asking me to take her back. I stood there frozen. This woman who once said she'd never get married was now begging for it. We went inside and talked it through. Emotions ran high, and somehow, some way, I let her back in. She left that day as my girlfriend again. A year later, we were married. At first, marriage was good, like really good. I was happy, and she was affectionate. Life felt like it was finally settling into something stable. Then came the news. Bonnie was pregnant, with twins. I was stunned but excited. We both were. We decorated the nursery together. We painted little animals on the wall. We picked names. I was over the moon. But the moment those babies were born, something felt off. I didn't say anything at first, just looked at them. I expected to see even a little resemblance, but there was nothing. My parents saw it too. I could tell from their faces. I waited until the room cleared a bit and pulled a nurse aside. I asked how I could go about getting a paternity test. She said since I hadn't signed the birth certificate yet, Bonnie would have to approve it. I agreed. When she asked Bonnie, her reaction was explosive. "Are you crazy, Vince?" she cried. She made a huge scene, and next thing I know, the hospital staff is asking me and my parents to leave the room. I felt like the enemy in a place where I was supposed to be a proud father. Later, her parents came out and said Bonnie would allow the test, but wasn't coming home until I got my act together. Whatever that meant. The test happened while the twins were asleep. Bonnie got the results 2 days later, but didn't tell me. I called and got the results myself 5 days after. I wasn't the father. I was crushed. I cried like a damn baby at my parents' house. Everything inside me collapsed. I felt like a joke. All that love, all that effort. I had been played. I wanted to destroy her. That's the only way I can put it. I had never felt rage like that before. Then came the manipulation. Bonnie called and said I was still the father, regardless of DNA. She said if I divorced her, she'd have to put the twins up for adoption. Then she dropped a bomb. She said she wished she had terminated the pregnancy like she planned. I hung up. I was done. Next thing I know, she's texting me, demanding counseling. Said we could work through this. That message came while I was sitting in my divorce attorney's office. "I'm going to be real," I snapped. I texted her something I regret. I told her I'd put my hands on her if she ever came near me again. I lost control. I let my emotions run me. I've never hit a woman and never will, but at that moment I was drowning. I went home, packed all her stuff into her car and drove it to Goodwill. The rest? I threw in the trash. A few days later, she came home without the twins. She walked in and realized everything was gone. We had a massive blowout. I told her I'd seen a lawyer and she'd be served soon. Then I pulled out all the evidence I'd gathered, messages between her and the guy she cheated with, some local barber who looked like a rapper on Facebook, all jewelry and posing with stacks of cash. She lunged at me, called me crazy, and stormed out. She kept calling after that, kept begging, saying I was turning into a monster, saying I was breaking up the family. I told her it was the last contact we'd ever have and blocked her number. She kept trying through other ways, friends, emails, but I stayed silent. That's when I dug deeper, found out she had known that barber long before we got married. They were messaging while we were back together. He was telling her she'd be in his rap video, calling her his thick snow bunny. They had a trip planned. She was never really mine. I was just a temporary stop on her way to the streets. My attorney told me Bonnie would be served at her parents' address, explained how Missouri divorce laws work and what to expect. A few days later, she showed up at my place again. I ignored her, let her stand outside until she gave up. My lawyer later told me she signed the documents and hired her own attorney. We had to do a pre-divorce class. Bonnie cried the entire time, loud sobs. At one point, she screamed, "I love you, Vince. I can't live without you." I felt nothing. I had already grieved. I was already gone. At the hearing, the judge, who was a woman, was clearly hostile toward my lawyer. She kept interrupting him, doubting every word, like she assumed I was the villain because I'm a man. At one point, my lawyer lost his cool and snapped back, but then he apologized and stayed professional. Despite the tension, we got through it. I got my divorce. After court, Bonnie approached me, told me she'd sue me for trashing her stuff unless I agreed to work things out and raise the twins with her. More crying, more begging. She said she wanted her husband back. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "It's over. Go be that barber's snow bunny." She looked stunned, but I turned and walked away, and that was the end. Now I'm rebuilding. I'm healing. I'm growing. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm damn sure not where I was. And your channel helped more than you know. You gave me proof that there's life after betrayal, that men like me aren't alone. So thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. There's a lot more guys out there who need to hear these stories. I know I did. Respectfully, Vince. Update subject, life after divorce. A journey of faith, peace, and a possible off-grid future. Hey man, Vince again. I hope you don't mind me sending a follow-up. After I hit send on the last email, I felt a sense of relief. Like I had finally closed a chapter in my life that had been haunting me for too long. But as life would have it, things didn't just stop there. Some new things have happened since, and I think it's worth sharing. Not for sympathy or attention, but just in case another man out there is in the same spot I was. So here's where the next chapter begins. About a month after the divorce was finalized, I got a phone call from my father. Now my dad is a real straight shooter, old school type. He doesn't waste words, and he rarely calls unless it's something serious. So when I saw his name pop up on my phone, I paused. I just knew something was off. He started the call with, "Son, you ain't gonna believe who showed up on our doorstep." I said, "Let me guess." He said, "Bonnie, and she brought the twins." I went silent. He went on to tell me she came over crying, holding one baby on each hip, begging my mom and him to be part of the boys' lives. Said she felt bad for how things went down. Said the boys deserved grandparents. Said she knew she messed up and just wanted peace. I asked him what he said. He said, "I told her, Bonnie, they ain't our grandkids. We were fooled once. That won't happen again." But my mom, bless her heart, was a little softer. She asked to hold the babies. She always had that motherly instinct. My dad told me she took one of the boys into the kitchen and gave him a bottle while Bonnie sat at the table with him, crying her eyes out. That's when he told me something that caught me off guard. He said, "Vince, I don't want to be disrespectful, but those boys, they look like they belong to a black man." I paused. Then I said, "Dad, I already know who the father probably is." He said, "What do you mean?" So I told him everything. I screenshotted the Facebook messages between Bonnie and the barber, the same guy she cheated on me with, and sent them to his phone. He opened them while we were still on the call. I could hear his breathing get heavier. Then he just sighed and said, "Well, now I see it. But to be fair, looks like this guy thought she was single. I read through a few of these. She lied to him too. Told him she was single and staying with her parents." I said, "Exactly." He said, "Still don't make it right. But you know what? I can't even be mad at the guy. He didn't know. He's not the one who took vows." That hit me hard. My dad, who's usually the most stoic man in the world, showed a level of understanding I wasn't expecting. And for once, it wasn't about revenge or rage. It was just the truth. The hard, raw, grown man truth. I told him not to feel bad if Mom wanted to see the kids now and then. I'm not mad. They didn't ask to be born into all this, but I made it clear. I want no part of it. Not because I hate the kids, but because I need distance. I need peace, and I won't sacrifice that again for anyone. After that call, something shifted in me. You remember Roger? The man I mentioned in my first email, the stranger who prayed with me. His words stuck with me more than I thought they would. So I decided to take a real step in that direction. I started going to church, not just once or twice, but consistently. At first, I just sat in the back, quiet, observing. I wasn't ready to open up or sing or clap or any of that, but over time, I started to feel something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. And I'm not talking about the kind of peace you get from a day off or a drink after work. I'm talking about soul deep, nothing can break me peace. That kind that comes from finally letting go of things that were poisoning you from the inside out. I joined a Bible study group, started reading more scripture, not for anyone else, not to impress anybody, but because the words spoke to me. They gave me clarity. They taught me patience. They showed me that forgiveness doesn't mean letting someone hurt you again. It means refusing to carry that pain any longer. And I'll be honest with you, man, I'm happy. For the first time in years, I'm genuinely happy. I'm also back in the gym, not for revenge, not for some look what you lost flex, but because I want to feel good. I want to look in the mirror and like the man staring back. I've cut back on junk food, fast food, and unnecessary spending. I track every dollar now. I don't want to be just emotionally and physically strong. I want to be financially bulletproof too. Minimalism became attractive to me. I sold a lot of old stuff, simplified my space. The more I let go of, the more free I felt. And then something unexpected happened. I met someone. Before you get too excited, let me explain. It was at church. Her name was Alyssa, beautiful woman, smart, full of light. She smiled at me one Sunday, and we ended up chatting after service. One conversation turned into two, then three. Before I knew it, she was texting me every day, asking to go out, inviting me to dinner with her family. She moved fast, real fast. She told me she had been praying for a man like me. She said I had a healed spirit and that she felt safe around me. And while all of that was flattering, it scared me because I knew I wasn't ready, so I told her the truth. I said, "Alyssa, I think you're amazing, but I'm not in a place where I want anything serious, not even something casual. I'm rebuilding. I'm focused on myself, on God, on my peace." She went quiet. The next Sunday, she sat on the other side of the room. "Doesn't even look my way anymore. I'd be lying if I said it didn't sting a little. But you know what? I'm okay with it. I don't need distraction. I don't need validation. What I need is purpose." And that brings me to something else I've been thinking about lately. I'm seriously considering going off grid. Not permanently, at least not right away, but maybe for a few months to start. Just disconnecting, building a cabin, living off the land, fishing, hunting, chopping wood, reading books by firelight, no social media, no noise, just nature and God. I've been watching guys on YouTube do it, and the idea has been tugging at me harder every day. And here's a little question for you. If I start vlogging the experience, would you be willing to mention or promote the channel? I don't want fame. I'm not trying to go viral. I just want to share what healing really looks like for a man after devastation. What real self-recovery is. What peace away from the chaos feels like. Because I'll tell you the truth, your channel inspired me. And maybe my story could do the same for someone else. To the man reading this, if you do decide to share this, I hope it finds someone who needs it. Some guy sitting in the dark thinking his life is over because the woman he gave his heart to ripped it out and stomped on it. Some man who's drowning in bitterness, wanting revenge, feeling like less of a man. Let me tell you something. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're just bruised. But bruises heal. And when they do, the skin over them comes back tougher than before. I didn't get there overnight. I had to cry. I had to sit in silence. I had to lose friends. I had to be embarrassed. I had to confess ugly truths. But now I'm free. Bonnie is no longer my storm. She's just part of the weather I survived. The only thing I ask is that you keep doing what you're doing. You're helping more men than you know. You helped me. And if this email makes it into one of your videos, just know that I'm proud to be one of your subscribers. I'm proud to be a man who walked through the fire and came out purified instead of burned. Thank you for reading. Thank you for the platform. And thank you for reminding men like me that we still matter with respect and peace. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm glad my channel was able to help. I'm glad the guy that you met was able to help you. I'm glad you're focusing on yourself and putting yourself first. That wasn't cool, man. Nobody should have to go through what you went through. You know? I'm glad you're okay, though. I'm glad you're good, though. Keep moving, man. Keep staying focused on you. I promise you'll never regret that. Subject: Vince checking in. Off grid, off drama, on God. Hey, brother. First things first. Thank you. I didn't think you'd get to my email so soon, let alone put it out there the way you did. The way you read it, your tone, the pauses, the reflections, everything was spot on. Felt like I was watching someone tell my story better than I ever could. I've watched that video 3 times now. It's surreal hearing your own life laid out like that, but I think it was necessary. There was healing in it. There was peace. Now I want to take a second and respond to some of the comments I saw under the video. I never thought strangers on the internet could uplift a man the way they did me. Let me start with a couple that really hit home. Vince, if you're reading this, you're stronger than you think. You didn't just survive betrayal. You rebuilt your dignity. Man, I read that one twice. Whoever wrote that, thank you. I screenshotted it and keep it saved in my phone. Sometimes we men don't hear that enough. We're told to man up and move on, but no one really tells us it's okay to feel crushed. That one line gave me a little more fuel in my tank. Then there was this one. This brother Vince needs to write a book. His way with words, even in pain, is powerful. That made me laugh. A book? Maybe one day. For now, I'll keep writing you. These emails are my therapy. If anyone can learn from what I went through, even better. But of course, not all feedback was sweet. There was this comment. He sounds bitter, still obsessed with his ex. Move on, bro. Let me address that real quick. You know what? You're not entirely wrong. There was bitterness. There was obsession. But that was in the past tense. I went through something that would shake any man to his core. Being told you're the father, falling in love with a lie, only to find out you were just a backup plan. That messes with you. But I'm not bitter now. I'm grounded, I'm healing, and more than anything, I'm free. So, here's the update, brother. The land and the calling. Since that last email, I've been putting in work towards something that's been on my heart heavy, going off grid. I've been looking at plots of land in Missouri and a few options out in Tennessee, too. The goal isn't just to disappear, it's to rebuild something from scratch, something pure. No HOA, no nosy neighbors, just peace, sweat equity, and the sound of wind through trees. I'm currently working with someone who knows the legal side of this stuff. They've been helping me dig into whether certain properties have zoning restrictions, what utilities are allowed, if I can collect rainwater, install solar, things like that. I'm not trying to buy a slice of land and then find out I can't build a cabin or grow my own food. Funny enough, the realtor I'm working with said, "Vince, most people your age are looking for starter homes. You're looking for your last stop." I told him maybe, or maybe just my first real one. I'm not rushing. I've got a short list of 3 plots I'm planning to visit in person. All wooded, all remote, all full of possibility. I've even started researching how to build a small A-frame cabin by hand. Just enough space for me, a few tools, a Bible, and some silence. I'm not running from the world. I'm just choosing where I want to face it from. Faith over flesh. Now this part is important. After everything with Bonnie, I had to find something that would keep me from becoming the monster she tried to paint me as. Anger used to drive me. It was the fuel behind every workout, every deleted photo, every blocked number. But eventually I got tired of being angry. It's like living with a wild animal in your chest. So I started going to church. At first I just sat in the back, didn't say much, and didn't sing, just listened. And one Sunday the pastor said something I won't forget. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about freedom for you. That hit hard. I never forgave Bonnie because she deserved it. I forgave her because I deserved peace. So I kept going. Got involved in Bible study on Thursdays. Started reading Proverbs every morning. It's crazy how much wisdom is in that book. Things about trust, temptation, pride. Every verse felt like it was talking directly to me. Every story showed me where I went wrong, where I could grow. I gave my life to Christ officially last month, baptized at a small service with just 10 people watching. Felt like 1,000 pounds came off me that day. I'm not perfect now, far from it, but I finally feel aligned. The woman from church. So let me tell you this. There was a woman, let's call her Diane. I met her after one of the Bible studies. She brought the muffins. I complimented the muffins. Next thing I know, we're chatting every week. Now Diane is beautiful, intelligent, heart full of God, but very eager, maybe too eager. About 2 weeks in, she asked if I'd be interested in going out for dinner. I said sure, as friends. But I made it clear I'm not dating right now, not even casually. She said she understood, but the thing is, her actions started to say otherwise. I started getting daily texts. She'd drop off coffee at the church office for me. She asked if I wanted to spend Easter with her family. Eventually, I had to sit her down and explain myself again. I said, "Diane, you're a wonderful woman, but I've made a commitment to God and to myself. No dating, no physical intimacy. I'm practicing abstinence and focusing on my walk." She looked hurt, but she nodded. We haven't spoken much since. She avoids me now, won't even sit near me during service. I won't lie, it stings a little. Not because I wanted her, but because I didn't mean to hurt her. Still, I know I did the right thing. I'm not looking to fill a void, I'm looking to heal it. Discipline, not distraction. This new chapter in my life isn't easy. Some days I wake up missing the noise, the chaos, the fake sense of comfort that a full house gave me. But then I remind myself I'm not who I used to be. I hit the gym 5 times a week now, lifting, cardio, stretching, whatever clears my head. I stopped eating fast food, started meal prepping. I'm learning how to budget like never before. I used to blow money on little things to feel something: new shoes, gadgets, stuff that added zero value. Now I'm stacking that money toward land, tools, solar panels. I want to be debt free and spiritually rich. That's the new goal. A word on Bonnie and the twins. I'll keep this short. She's still in town, still raising the twins. Haven't heard from her directly in months, but mutual acquaintances say she's struggling. I don't celebrate that. I don't wish pain on her. I wish her wisdom. I hope she raises those boys to be better than what we both were. But that chapter, it's closed, it's sealed, and it's behind me. I have no plans of ever revisiting that part of my life. It's like an old house. You drive by, but you don't knock on the door. Final thoughts and a small request. Brother, I just want to say thank you again for your platform, for reading my words, for reminding men like me that our stories matter, that we're not just broken leftovers from some woman's mistake. We are men rebuilding. We are fathers, even when we're not biologically. We are warriors who walk away with our heads high. Now I've got a small ask. I'm considering vlogging this off-grid journey. Nothing fancy, just a camera, some words, some updates on how I'm building, what I'm learning, how my faith is growing. If I end up doing it, would you mind giving it a shout out? Not for fame, not for followers, just so another man who feels lost might find my story the way I found yours. Thanks again for being a voice for us. You've got a subscriber for life. Stay blessed, Vince.